Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with the Arsenal. Today we're going to be doing episode 12 of the series, and we are going to be carrying on with everything. Um, some of you have probably noticed that that the Kingdom of Nifel doesn't exist anymore. And that's because, Nifel, they were on the team that lost, or the alliance that lost. Actually, funny that. Actually, let me. Oh, let me get rid of this. Put that back. So, the Kingdom of Nifel doesn't exist, and it actually disintegrated into four smaller kingdoms, but it also lost a bit of land as well. So we've got Kingdom of Everchill, Kingdom of Permafrost, Kingdom of Crystal Howl, and Kingdom of Icereach. The Kingdom of Rimehold, they did change their name to Kingdom of Rimeclaw. And then you've got Kingdom of Ice Talon. These both kingdoms got quite big. The Kingdom of Ice Talon got bigger than normal, but you know, and so I feel like this area here is quite like destabilized at the moment, so there could be some potential like conflicts that happen. But right now they're just doing their own thing. Um, we also have these three kingdoms here called Kingdom of Ember Glacier, Kingdom of Frostfire, Kingdom of Sea Mist. And you got to bear in mind that this kingdom here, the lighter blue one, this is primarily like seeming territory. And then the pink and the light pink and the dark pink ones, they actually they were liberated from the kingdom of North Pyre. So they are essentially Skyrings. But because so much time has passed, you're probably looking at close to 5,000 years have passed. You're probably gonna notice that kingdoms are gonna, not kingdoms, but the dragons who inhabit the kingdoms, um, they are, um, they're probably gonna look different. And in fact, what I'm actually gonna do is so I'm gonna get rid of that, and the reason why is because this kingdom here, so about that, like so. um, let's fix the borders, and let me actually just let me actually go over here. Okay, should drag that over here, put that there. We'll actually do the same with this one. we'll actually get rid of the capital there, and then we'll replace it with a larger capital. And the reason why the capitals are going to be so big is I just want to like distinguish them from like the towns. So there will be probably like a few villages around and whatnot, but honestly, the number of villages are going to drop because they're going to be changing to like they're going to be increasing in size as the populations of each of the kingdoms are also going to be increasing. So we'll put that there. We'll put that there. Stick that there, and stick that there. And we'll stick this here. So the kingdom of Lusalia, Lusalia? Is it Lusalia? I think it might be Lusalia. Hang on a minute. Let's see. Why is there no space? Is there the reason why? Kingdom of Lusalia. So we'll do that. So the kingdom of Lusalia is now, they are essentially, well, they are a lot bigger than the Republic of Emberlight now. And so this could potentially cause a little bit of friction to grow between Emberlight and Lusalia. I think it's Lusalia. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm gonna have to.
Lusalia.
Yeah, Lusalia. It is Lusalia. That's what I was right. You got the Phoenix Kingdom, and then you got the Kingdom of Cytera, and the Emberfanium Kingdom, the Emberile Kingdom. The reason why I moved them, moved the name off of the actual land is because I wanted you guys to actually see the name properly. So we're probably gonna see some expansion. Oh no, I'm on the wrong. There you go. We're probably gonna see some expansion of the kingdom of Fabacy. Fabus. Fabacy. This is American English, so it's good for say Fabacy, but it's really Fabacy. So Kingdom of Fabacy, they are going to just like expand and just like take over this whole area here. And the reason is because they've got words that the Kingdom of Verdantia, or the Verdantia Kingdom, they don't really want to expand anymore. So we get this. I'm actually going to expand, order some more, and I'm going to do the same for let me actually fix these borders. Like so. Okay. So you got the Kingdom of Fabacy, Kingdom of Lumina, And you got the Verdantia Kingdom. And I feel like the Verdantia Kingdom, because they can't really, I mean, they can expand, but I feel like this kingdom here they will probably, if I can get it to work properly. So this kingdom here will just like most likely just like uh I don't think they'll declare independence. I think they'll be given independence from the Verdantia kingdom. Of course, I'll fix the borders in a second because the borders do look a little bit of a mess. Um, so you have this kingdom that declares its independence. So I'm just gonna fill this all in. Okay. Let's now address the territory problems. That's something we're definitely going to address. Okay. Oh, I might as well just like paint this in as well. Okay, so this kingdom declares its independence, so we're going to call it the um hmm, we are going to call it um are you serious? Oh well. Of course they're having problems. If I just look up um oh, I got an idea for a day. Ooh, that looks nice. So we call it Kingdom of Like, God damn it! God, there you go. And if we make this slightly bigger, so Kingdom of Fuchsia. And it's an actual plant in the rainforest kingdom. So that's cool to know. So we've got the Kingdom of Fuchsia now. That's a little bit Japanese, and I kind of like that, honestly. So a Kingdom of Fuchsia. The Vedantia Kingdom, they're not really like they're not really struggling. Like, there's no like real problems between these two kingdoms. Oh god, why don't do that? Don't do that, please. Thank you. So in this area, I did say that there would be some potential, well, not potential, but most likely conflict between the Kingdom of Prethria and the Kingdom of Gossamer. And there will definitely be some conflict where the Hive Wings of Prethria, they are definitely going to oh god, they are definitely going to declare war on the Gossamer Kingdom, and they're just going to start pushing very aggressively. And the reason for this is because they're still, under like a tyrannic queen. So there's like been many queens that have ruled this kingdom. Wish my mouse wouldn't do that. But most of them have been, rather uh, tyrannic in nature, honestly. So they continue pushing. This side, they do expand their borders a little bit more. So it looks like that, and then they start to push, and they do start to push and take over this part here. And the problem is because Gossamer is part of the alliance with Sulfara and Neptara. What this essentially means is that well, this kingdom is basically screwed unless if they come up with something very clever. And the Hive Wings, they are pretty clever what they come up with, but Leaf Wings and Silk Wings, they are also pretty clever. So you could have this situation where they're able to stabilize the line here, but instead of like pushing like back and taking territory, they just stabilize the line. And then here, they claim some more land, but at the same time, they do start to push back, and they push back really aggressively, actually. And this is like without support from their allied kingdoms. And so you get something that looks like this, and they stabilize this line here, and they then start to focus on here. But the problem is more and more Hive Wings are starting to flood this area here, and well, you kind of guess what happens. They start to push through. They've already taken one town, but they just carry on pushing and just carry on pushing and carry on pushing, and it gets to the point where and this happens in like probably a good couple of weeks, probably even a month. But the Gossamerians, they are able to actually take control of some of the coast again. But it's not quite enough because they're trying to recapture their captured town. but they're not able to really get close enough. And what you essentially have is, what you essentially have is Hive Wings. They start to do a spearhead. They start to do a spearhead, and instead of going towards the next town, they just circle this whole area. And so now this whole area is now under Hive Wing control, and they just start to really aggressively push inwards, and just taking over huge swaths of this area here. And then after a good couple of weeks of fighting, maybe even a good couple of months, and by now they have gotten a lot of support from the Sulfarians, and the Sulfarians are definitely sending aid and everything like that. But by now this area has been shrunk to quite a tiny area. Actually, it's like maybe about this big. And there's like not many leaf silkwings fighting left. But the Hive Wings, they have definitely managed to push the Gosmerian forces back. And during this was happening, they have been able to advance a lot more closer to the town. But they are also pushing further this way, and just genuinely pushing. And the reason why they want to capture these towns is just to weaken this kingdom. And they're not taking prisoners. What they're doing is they are just doing mass executions of POWs, which is prisoners of war. And so this finally collapses here, and quite a lot of these POWs are brought back into the kingdom of Perethia, and you can guess what happens. There's a lot of nasty things that happen. But on the front lines, they continue to push, and you've got to bear in mind that Neptaria or Neptara, they are still trying to. They're still getting supplies and their forces and everything just ready. The Phoenix Kingdom, or the other alliance, they're looking on with this, and the Phoenix Kingdom, because they were, they were very well allied with Sulfara and Neptara and like other kingdoms, but they decided to make their own alliance. They then declare war on the kingdom of Perethia, and that brings in the Emberthanium kingdom and the kingdom of Cytera into the fold. And so the Phoenix Kingdom, they start to, come through the kingdom of Sulfara, and then they start to support the Gossamer Kingdom. With all of these supplies, they are finally able to start to push back, and they push back very aggressively. Because now the Gossamerians, they are beyond annoyed. They are very annoyed, and so they just push back extremely aggressively. They even encircle this whole section here. They just encircle it all, and they just cut it off, and they take this whole part here. Bear in mind, this is not just the Gossamerian army. This is the Phoenix army as well as the Sulfarian army, and they're just crushing the Hive Wings now with support from the Phoenix Kingdom. The Kingdom of Aridon, who finally has a queen, who isn't tyrannic at all. She's also looking on not looking on, but like hearing of what's going on. The Kingdom of Aradon is still not liked by the other kingdoms because of what happened. But they are also going to do a surprise move that surprises everyone. They are also going to declare war on the Kingdom of Perethria. So now you have 3 alliances, and you have multiple kingdoms who have declared war on the Hivewing Kingdom, and they are just pushing very hard. They're just crushing. They're just crushing the Hivewings now. And they just keep on pushing and keep on pushing. Like so. And so they actually pushed them back to where they originally started. And they even have this little part here. This little group of Hivewings here. And if I actually paint this in and then just shape it in a way like so. So there's like a little group of Hivewings. Well, I say little group. It is probably close to like 10,000 Hivewings who are like stuck here, and they're disconnected from their kingdom. But the Perethrian army, they're gonna do something desperate, and they're just gonna start crashing through this whole area here, and they're just gonna take control of it completely. They're gonna actually integrate some of this uncaptured land into their kingdom. But you know, is it really a wise decision at this point? I don't know. And so the Queen, she's ordering basically mass conscription within her army, within her kingdom, and so loads more Hivewings. And bear in mind, all these Hivewings, they are super loyal to the Hivewing Queen of Perethria, and so the army numbers, they just skyrocket in Perethria, and that actually gives them the edge, where they are now able to push along the coast and link up with this group of Hivewings, and you are now having a situation where Perethria, like, you got to bear in mind, Perethria, they've been arming for war for a long time, for a very long time, because they if there's one, like, not just one, but if there are a group of dragons that they hate, it's the Silkwings and the Leafwings. They just hate the Silkwings and the Leafwings. And so finally, after months of fighting, the Neptarian army finally arrives, and at this point, it's a point where the Perethrian army, they've just taken a huge amount of territory. They've taken a huge amount of territory from Gossamer. And it's on both sides, honestly. It really is on both sides. They've taken a lot. They've pushed back all these kingdoms. You've got to bear in mind that it's Perethria against 3 full-on alliances, and they have pushed them all back. You know, so now the Queen of Gossamer, she's not really like full-on panic mode at the moment, but she's starting to get a little bit, well, I say a little bit weird. She's starting to get quite concerned. And so the Hivewings, they just continue to just annex all of this land here. They just continue to take over, and they just take over more and more and more. And they just can't stop them. They're just being steamrolled. They're just being steamrolled. But the forces from um, from Aradon. They also arrive. They don't really have a big army, but it's something. But the Aradorian army, they are ordered to protect the Gossamirian palace / capital at all costs. And so the Highwings, they continue to expand, and they now completely cut off this section. And they actually integrate this whole portion. If I just enlarge this, they integrate this whole portion into their kingdom. So they now control this whole section here. And it's not looking good for Gossamer. It really is not looking good. But then that's when because when I said that the Nectarian forces arrived, what I meant was the first trickles of the army arrived, which wasn't really enough to push back the forces of Perethria. But now with the kingdom of Grossamere basically close to capitulation, so it looks something something like this. So with them close to capitulation, when I mean close, I mean they are pretty close. They're probably like 3/4 of the way to capitulation. And so, they've probably even taken over this whole area here. So they've just taken over this whole area. I'll shrink this back down. So they've probably taken over this whole section here, and they've just they now control the northwestern part of Gossamer. And the Highwings, they've learnt from their mistakes, and without the support of the other kingdoms, Gossamer would have been done for. But now the forces from Neptara, or the Neptarian forces, finally arrive, and the tables do turn. They turn pretty damn quickly. And so now you have Gossamerian forces who they focus on taking back their territory that they lost. So they take back this territory here, and they just start taking back all of this. And with support from Neptarian forces, they start taking the coast like stupidly quick. You got to bear in mind that the Neptarian forces, they are sea wings, and so they just start taking over the coastline. And this distraction actually allows the main bulk of the forces to focus on just taking back huge swathes of their Gossamer's annexed land. And so they just take back just massive amounts of it. Like this is the equivalent of a blitzkrieg. They're just the Queen of Perethria. She is now panicking. She's now panicking because she's getting reports that Sea Wing forces have landed on well, not landed, but appeared on the shores in the northern part of her kingdom. And she then orders the forces to then deal with these dragons on the coastal areas, which the allied or the three alliances were betting on, and it actually worked out that way. But it's just not it's just not looking good. It really isn't looking good, and they just spearhead their way through. They completely spearhead their way through. Let's increase the size of this again. And they're just taking huge swaths of land. They're taking prisoners, but unlike the Peraethrians, they're not executing their prisoners. They're not torturing them. They're not doing like diabolical stuff on them. They're just, taking them as prisoners of war. And that, they're doing the decent thing with like giving them like food and whatnot. Because I don't think that the even though the Leaf Wings and the Silk Wings, hate the Hive Wings, I don't think that they would, treat the everyday soldier like, like garbage. But more Sea Wings land further down the coastlines, and they actually start pushing relatively hard along the coastlines. And this is not looking good for the Peraethrian Queen. And even though she's got like most of her forces under mind control, some of her forces, they do start to defect. The ones that aren't under mind control, and you get these pockets of defection that just start to appear, and they start to expand out, and they're just fighting. Some of them do get closed down. Oh, sorry. Some of them do get closed down. So you like lose this one and this one and this one, but particularly this one up here, they actually link up with the Allied forces, and then once they do, they surrender to the Allied forces, and so you get this this huge portion here, which is now back under Gossamerian control, and it's just turning into an all-out assault. The Hive Wings who turned against their queen, they do really well at the start, but then they start to get pushed back to their starting place, and then they are eventually silenced and executed for treason. But this has cost valuable time, and the front line, it basically collapses. The front line basically collapses, and there's basically no resistance. Because the queen, she has actually told her forces to pull back to the previous territories of Peraethria. But the Allied forces don't stop there. They just continue pushing. They just continue to push really aggressively, and their aim is to completely silence and dethrone the Peraethrian queen, and take her to trial for crimes against not just her citizens, or not just her dragons, but also against the citizens of Gossamer. And then once they push down, and once the Allied forces actually capture this town, which is one of the towns which has one of the, I guess you could call them like the human version of a concentration camp. They realize the horrors that the Peraethrian forces have been doing. And this angers the Gossamerian army, and well, you can kind of see what happens. And after some time, after probably about a year of fighting, if we like skip along a year, they have taken over this huge chunk here. So let me just fill that in. So they've taken over this huge section of Peraethria. So this huge section of Peraethria is now under Allied control, and they are dangerously close to the Queen's palace, and that's when she asks, she sends a message to Gossamer, to Neptara, to Phoenix Kingdom, and to the other kingdoms, and basically say, I want to sue for peace. Gossamer, uh, basically the Empire of Neptara, the Phoenix Kingdom, and the Kingdom of Solfara, and the Kingdom of Aradon and whatnot, they because the Kingdom of Gossamer was attacked, they all say that it's only right if the Queen and the Council of Gossamer decide. And the Queen and Council of Gossamer, they decide to accept the peace treaty, but it's going to look a bit different. And the way it's going to look different is, if I actually if I actually get rid of that and that and that and that, and this one and this one. So the peace treaty is signed, and oh dear, the peace treaty is signed, and what this basically means is that Perethria, they are allowed to recover a bit of their territory, but they have lost quite a bit of their territory already. But the towns that, the northernmost towns that had like most of the POWs, those towns were destroyed. So the hive wings were evacuated and then sent to Perithria, and then the towns were destroyed after they had also evacuated the prisoners of war. And basically huge sanctions were just placed on Kingdom of Perithria. The Queen of Perithria, she was taken to court for, again, crimes against dragonkind, and she is sentenced to many years in prison. She's not sent to execution, but she's sent to prison, and so Gossamer has gotten quite a bit larger, and I'm gonna try my best to fill in this whole portion. It is quite large, but yeah, it's well, what can I say? Okay. Um. Oh wait, was I putting the? Are you serious? Oh no, I wasn't putting them on the. Okay, that's good. Um. But Gossamer is now a lot larger, and Brethia, they are a lot smaller now. So all the kingdoms, they just calm down. They really calm down. But they're still, keeping a very good eye on Brethia. Um, there is like the first ever um meeting, crown meeting held between the queens and their husbands. So they like meet in why is that there? Go away. Um, so they meet in I would say probably in Neptara area. Um, and they all meet, and there are a few questions as why Aradon and Solfael joined the war, and basically Aradon, they want to They want to prove themselves that they are different. They are, you know, they are aiming to be, you know, completely different to what the last queen was. Um, so a few things have happened, um, but overall, not really much has occurred. Besides the war um, that occurred between Brethria and Gossamer. And Brethria nearly won the war. If it wasn't, if the Neptarian forces were a bit later, if they arrived a bit later, then Brethria could have possibly won this war. They could have taken this whole part over, and they could have like even invaded Solfara. They may have struggled with the Phoenix Kingdom because the Phoenix Kingdom, you know, they have been proven time after time after time that they do not mess about. Anyway, guys, I hope you just if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs down. Put in the comment section what you think about this episode and what you think will happen next. And do put in some ideas if you like what you think should happen to some kingdoms and whatnot. And I don't want any outlandish ideas. But yeah. So I see you guys later. Peace.